Hey everybody, Karen from Ask the Spirit Guides. I hope you're doing well today. So I wanted to take a look at AI and whether this is really a curse for humanity or if AI is a blessing for humanity. It might be a little bit of both. It very well could be. But it's really interesting because I ran across a comment from one of our community members. And the comment was that, she's been listening for a long time, but that she can no longer listen or be a part of the community because I'm choosing to use AI. Okay. And so that got me thinking, like, okay, so that is a very black and white way of looking at things, which is fine. But I think if you're going to, it's interesting because and she's probably no longer here because she's not listening. But I hope you are. I hope you're still here because I think there's just so much more to this than to decide. Because the thing is, if let's just say this person is no longer going to listen and be a part of the community because I'm choosing to use AI to help us get the facts when I present something here, then you really can't use email. You can't use, you probably can't drive current cars because, I mean, you are supporting AI. And actually, when I go over this timeline, you're going to realize that AI has been progressing over 70 years, you guys. So again, I am at a point right now where I'm just enjoying getting to what are all the things we should be thinking about and then clarifying with the SGs. Okay. It's a little slightly different approach, but AI affords me that opportunity to do that very quickly, like bring up some of these things. Okay. So I think it's making, for me anyways, I think it's making the conversation much more well-rounded than I've ever been able to present before we started asking the SG's questions. So, and I would rather be more well-rounded than even what we had been doing before. So I think this is just an evolution thing, right? So for humanity and for our community. So, and for me. So let's take a look. So I've got a little introduction. We're going to look at a timeline of AI because I wasn't aware of this, and it's very helpful to know how quietly AI has been supporting humanity since the 1940s. Okay, it's been a slow burn, but it's still been there. And I think that's important for us to know because it feels like it's just all of a sudden it was just here. And then we're going to look at actually the timeline of energy and water usage for AI. Okay, because that has changed dramatically. And she does, the person who said this to me has a concern about the Great Lakes, water in the Great Lakes. And because I live in Wisconsin, I should be concerned about that. Well, yeah, I'm not saying I'm not concerned about it, but let's look at what is the concern and what are they doing about it? Okay. So I just think that things are not black and white. You know me, I'm always saying these things. Okay, then we're going to look at the politics real quick about AI energy uses because I am curious of what the conservatives are saying versus what the liberals are saying. We'll take both sides of that. And then we have questions for the spirit guides. Okay? And we'll see what it is that the guides, the lead team collective, want to tell us about it. Okay? All right. So, real quick. So artificial intelligence has been shaping human life for more than 70 years, often in ways people didn't notice. It began as theory in laboratories and is now at the heart of how we shop, work, travel, and even heal. But today, AI is demanding enormous amounts of power and water, raising fears about whether it could stress our resources, widen inequality, and even put ecosystems like the Great Lakes at risk. I added that. I wanted to include the issue of the Great Lakes because that was posed by a member of our community. Okay. Still, new technologies and policies are emerging that could make AI's growth sustainable. So I want you to hear that again. New technologies and policies are emerging that could make AI's growth sustainable. The data is factual and comes from reliable sources. Okay, just a reminder, entertainment purposes only. This is based on publicly available facts and reliable sources, and claims, event statements are alleged unless confirmed by official records. Okay, so timeline of AI. Okay, 1940s to 50s, the idea of machines thinking is born. The term artificial intelligence is first used in the 1940s to 50s. Okay, it's interesting. 1960s to 70s, a robot works on car assembly lines. AI assists in medical diagnosis. A chat box mimics a therapist in the 60s and 70s. Who knew? You might have known. I didn't know. I'm going to learn so much by doing this. I just love this. Okay. The 1980s, banks use AI to detect credit card fraud. Great. It's awesome. Businesses run problem-solving expert systems using AI. Okay. The 1990s, AI filters email spam, suggests products, and wins games against humans. What? And wins games against humans. Okay. All right, whatever that means. What I think is interesting is, do you guys remember when, I think it was before I think it was after the 1990s. I feel like it was maybe like 15 years ago, where like the first time you maybe were, okay, this was my example. So I was shopping on Kohl's.com, and then eventually I went over to Google, and there was an ad for the thing I was just looking at. Do you guys remember that first time that happened to you? Oh my God. I mean, that really felt disorienting. It really felt like Big Brother, like, oh my gosh, they really are, like that was the first awareness for me that things are being tracked, that was quite a while ago. Okay, so let's see. The 2000s, so now we're 25 years ago, okay. AI powers search engines, maps, voice recognition, recommendations, and early self-driving cars. Wow, in the early 2000s. 2010s, talking assistants, smart speakers, translation apps, and breakthroughs in image recognition enter daily life. In the 2020s, AI supports medical research, creates art, writes text, powers schools, hospitals, finance, and climate studies. Okay, so the takeaway here in this timeline is AI has been with us for over 70 years. Most of the time, it worked in the background, protecting bank accounts, guiding maps, filtering email, or suggesting music. Today, it stands in the open, shaping economies, politics, and even spirituality. Okay, so the timeline of AI energy uses. So this will give us sort of an outlook, and it is huge. It is. There's a huge gap between the 2010s and the 2020s. And I think this is helpful for us. We need to know this, I think. Again, to the degree that we have control, here's the thing, if you're not going to support, if everybody's got their different values and things that they're supporting, right? But if you literally ditched everybody in your life who was like supporting one thing or the other thing, you just had to go live in a cave by yourself. Because people don't know. People don't know, and not everybody has the bandwidth to care about every single thing, right? So we have to be a little bit more gentle, help people to, you know what I mean? I got ditched though. I got ditched. It's okay. I get it. We all do our best. Okay, so timeline of AI energy and water usage, okay, with a sustainability outlook. So I wanted to bring to the conversation, well, don't just leave us hanging with this, like how much water we're using. What are they doing about it? That type of thing. So, and I'm sure the picture is not completely clear yet, but we'll see what direction we're moving in. Okay, so the 1950s to 70s, energy use was minimal, limited to research computers. Okay, the 80s, the 90s, gradual rise as internet services, spam filters, and recommendations spread. Okay. The 2000s, data centers grow larger, electricity demand increases steadily. That was in the 2000s, so that was 25 years ago. The 2010s, deep learning breakthroughs cause a major leap. Training one large model can use electricity equal to 100 US homes for a full year. Okay. Cooling requires thousands of gallons of water. And that was in the 2010. So this has been going on. Okay. Just in the 2020s, so 5 years ago, it started to explode. And I think it was just 2 years ago where we started to become much more aware that AI is becoming a tool for the everyday person to use, right? At least for me, that's, we've been using it behind the scenes without really realizing it. And now it's becoming a tool that the everyday person can use. You could set your grocery list. They could plan your menus for the month. They can do all these things for you. Okay. All right. So the 2020s explosive growth, AI training and use may consume. I want to put it in relation to the 100 US homes in the 2010s. Okay. This is how big it is. Okay. It gave me this whole cubic meters or whatever, but I'm not going to read that because it's just like, let's compare it to the homes. Okay. So the 2020s, it took a leap from 100 homes in the 2010s to tens of millions in the 2020s. Okay. So remember in the 2010, the electricity use was equal to 100 US homes for a full year. Now in the 2020s, it is equal to tens of millions of US homes in a calendar year. Okay, so that's huge. So it obviously is something to be concerned about. Okay, so the concern is most water used in cooling is evaporated and not returned to local water systems. In water stretched areas, this could strain communities. Hyperscale data centers already use 1 million plus gallons per day in some regions. Okay, so what's being done? New cooling methods, shifts to air cooling, recycled water, or seawater in coastal centers. Relocation, some data centers built in cooler climates or near abundant water. Efficiency, hardware, and algorithms improving, reducing water energy per AI task. Policies, states like New York and Virginia requiring water energy reporting. It kind of makes me wonder, when the personal computer first started and they were huge, right? The data centers were huge from these. Why do we assume that AI won't be able to get smarter and smarter to help us improve? Okay, just like the data centers got much smaller and now I'm sitting on a laptop, or you get these little tablets or you get your little phone, that wasn't available when those the big computer centers were first out, Again, I'm not an expert in this at all. I'm just trying to look at things from all angles, and I'm not saying that I'm hitting all angles either. Okay, because I'm sure you guys will add things. Just add things to the conversation kindly, because I'm not expecting that I'm going to catch everything. I'm not an expert in this area. We're just exploring, okay? And we're going to see what the spirit guides have to say about it, okay? All right, so the hope in this energy area, if sustainable practice continues to scale, AI growth could move forward without draining ecosystems. We're going to find out from the SGs, okay? If not managed carefully, risk could grow, including the Midwest and the Great Lakes region, okay? All right, so let's look at this from a political standpoint. I was just kind of curious about this. So conservatives, right-leaning, emphasize rapid AI expansion for economic growth, defense, and global competition, prefer fewer regulations to speed up construction of massive data centers, surprise, surprise, frame energy needs as a reason to embrace all fuel sources, fossil, nuclear, and renewable. That kind of makes sense with what Trump's doing. So with the, taking out the regulations and all that kind of stuff. Okay, So liberals, left-leaning, prioritize sustainability and transparency, push for laws requiring companies to report energy and water use, advocate clean energy mandates, 100% renewable by 2050. 100% renewable. Now, it hasn't been, even though it's speeding up, it hasn't been 100% renewable even prior to the 2020s. Okay. So raise equity concerns when local communities face higher electricity or water bills. Okay. So those are the things the liberals are talking about. Takeaway: the divide is clear. One side prioritizes speed and competitiveness, the other protection and sustainability. Both sides acknowledge AI's future power, so liberals are still acknowledging its future power, but different on how to balance it with the planet's resources. Okay, so like I said, I'm sure I have missed some angles on this, so feel free to kindly add them to the conversation. Would be amazing. So then we can all keep learning about this from people's knowledge. What I would request, besides a thumbs up on the video, if this is helpful, that would be amazing. What I would request is in the comments is that you put, I have heard, or I read this, or something, rather than putting something as if it's the only way to look at it. Okay. This way, everybody can explore the gray within this area rather than one comment feeling like that's the only way to think about it. Okay. This way, I just think that's helpful for everybody as we're all exploring how we want to approach the world from different angles. Okay. And what our spirit teams, what our own intuition is guiding each of us to do, because we're all being guided differently to look at different topics in different ways, and that's okay. That's called soul contract. Okay. So rather than anyone making one person feel like they have to look at the world this way, we're just exploring it from different ways so you can figure out how you want to approach it rather than us everybody judging each other about how we're each approaching it. Okay. All right. So let's do the prayer and find out what Spirit has to say about this. Okay. All right, I close my aura to all but my higher self, the God consciousness, my guides, guardians, the lead team collective, and only those of the highest and purest light, and ask Archangel Michael to please protect my channel, your channel, our community, the lead team collective, so it is only of the highest and purest light. Amen. Hey guys. I've talked to my team today already. As always, thank you for all your love and guidance and support. And lead team, same for you. If you guys want to give the lead team a big heart, love, gratitude, that would be amazing. Really appreciate their guidance in this community. So, okay, so lead team, are you open and comfortable with answering the questions that are in front of me? Yes. Okay. Anything in front of us that would not be in our highest and best interest to know about? Nope. Okay. Awesome. Okay. It's interesting because I did have I saw one comment once where somebody said, well, why would you ask that? The person said, I assume that my team wouldn't give me information if it wasn't useful for me. And the one thing I would be careful about in anything that's not like, right, like just don't assume anything. Don't assume anything because they will only give us what we ask for specifically because we have free will here. Okay. So I'm actually going to I got inspired to do another session. What was this one? I want to do this. Okay, so you know how if you've been using AI, you know how you have to use really specific prompts to get what you want. Otherwise, you get you know what I mean? You have to keep working on the prompts and working on the prompts and working on the prompts. I had this intuition that that's the same thing we have to do with our spirit teams. What if we wrote prompts for our spirit teams. I know that sounds goofy, but I'm going to do a session on that. We're going to do a session. We're going to ask them because I'm kind of thinking like, what if we wrote really specific prompts like we do for AI for our spirit teams so that they were really clear on what we wanted, each of us. Okay. Because sometimes I don't think I'm that clear. I'll just, I ask for this and I ask for that, and I'm not even sure how I asked for it. And, so we're going to work on that. Let me know if you think that would be a fun topic to do. Because I'm going to do it anyways, because I think it would be really interesting. And I'm going to get some guidelines written about that and we'll ask them. Okay. Okay. Ready? All right. Let's ask some things, some background questions and see what they think about this AI stuff. Okay. Okay. So lead team, is the current hype around AI exaggerated? Is it being exaggerated? No, it's not. Okay. Is there some propaganda around AI though to keep us in fear about it by chance? No. Okay, so that's not the intention. Fear is not the intention. Okay, no. Are the energy and water requirements of AI truly as bad as many predict? No. Okay. I mean, it seems bad, to be honest, you guys. I mean, when you talk about 100 households in 2010 to tens of millions of households, like energy-wise, that would take to power up tens of millions of households. Yes. Okay. Let me ask if that's not the case. So is that because in the nearer future, we will be able to figure out a way to be more efficient than use all the water we're using now? Yes. Okay. Is there a chance that the Great Lakes could ever completely be be destroyed basically by AI? No. Okay, good. Okay. Again, entertainment purposes only. I can't say 100% that this is, the truth, but this is what they want us to know right now. Okay. It's the truth in this moment. Okay. Are tech companies hiding the real environmental cost of AI data centers? Ah, yes. Is that something that environmentalists should be very concerned about? No. Okay. Is that again because they're going to move fairly quickly in reducing the amount of energy use? Yes. Like quickly, do we mean in the next 2 years? That quickly? Yes. Okay. Do they already have plans for doing that? Reducing the amount of energy it's costing? Yes. Okay. And conservatives are actually on board with that? Wow. Okay. Yes. You never think they want to do anything good. They do. Not Trump, but, other people. Not the fascists. I mean, there's the fascists and then there's the conservatives. There is a difference now, right? Yes, they're saying yes, there is a difference now. Okay. We got to do an AI session, an SG session on the fascism too, I think. I'm feeling that is a need to be discussed soon as well. Oh God. Okay. Let's see. Is AI surveillance more widespread than government admits today? Is it more widespread? No. Okay. Could AI realistically be given legal personhood within the next decade? No. Okay, that's interesting. Is AI already influencing financial markets behind the scenes? Is it influencing it? Yes. Okay, let me dive into that. Influencing is, do you mean, is just AI, making financial markets more efficient? Like the system's more efficient? Yes. Is it actually artificially influencing financial markets, like what happens with trades and all that? No. Okay. Okay. Are military applications of AI more advanced than the public knows? Yes. I'm just asking this question off the top of my head because I'm curious. Is the advancement of AI part of evolution for ET contact with humans? Yes. Okay. Is this in the soul contract of, let's say, Earth? Earth's soul contract to have this level of AI at this time? Yes. Was it always in the, it was, is it in the Akashic records? Well, I'm not going to ask that question because I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure about the Akashic records yet. We haven't read on it yet. We haven't studied it in the spirit circle yet, so I don't know enough about it to ask questions like that. Okay. Is the idea of AI taking over humanity more rumor than reality? Yes. Do we need to be concerned about AI taking over humanity? No. Is that because, would you let it happen? Would you, as guidance from, no? Okay. Okay. Just thinking like, they are giving us some guidance here. I mean, I know we have free will, but well, if humans 100% acted only on free will without any of your support, would AI take over humanity? No. Okay. So you're saying humans would be always not, well, I guess the humans wouldn't let that happen, just humans alone? Yes. Okay. All right. Has AI already replaced more jobs than labor statistics reveal? Yes. Okay. That's a whole nother issue, isn't it? Will AI increase the gap between the wealthy and the poor? Yes. Oh, wow. I don't know how that is, but that's interesting. Is AI art and writing unfairly scrapping human creative work? No. I'm actually finding, again, it's just my personal experience. My personal experience could change in 3 days because things are going so fast, right? So there was hardly anything in there. I'm finding it to help me be more creative, actually, to be more creative. But it's just me. I'm one person doing one thing. So, okay, let's see. I always have to feel like I have to preface these things because then people take me so literally if I don't like throw in every gray area that I'm discussing, which is fine. I mean, I get it. Because you're adding a voice to the conversation, which I love, and I want you to do that. But then sometimes I'm like, okay, I guess, I'm just doing it to the best of my ability, I guess I just have to leave it at that. Okay, let's see. Do AI servers consume more electricity and water than is publicly shared? Okay, no. Okay. But I mean, it's a huge amount, isn't it? Yes. Okay. But they did say that we are going to be able to deal with it. Is Earth going to be hurt tremendously from the amount of electricity and water that's being consumed? No. Okay, good. Good. Is AI reinforcing racial, gender, or cultural bias through its training data? No. Okay. Huh. Okay, let me just, is it impossible for racial, gender, and cultural bias because of is it impossible for that to even occur in AI because of the speed of which it is collecting data? Yes. So even if they wanted to kind of manipulate it, would it be almost impossible to do? Or would it be impossible to do? Yes. I guess let me ask, are we going to be better off in this area, racial, gender, and cultural bias with AI than without? Yes. Okay. Huh, that'll be interesting. Can AI in healthcare realistically improve the life expectancy of the average person? Yes. It's just so interesting to me because this is very common for humans to always think of the worst case scenarios and lean on it, right? So, as a person who's the glass is half full, optimistic, I just naturally go that way. So, it's probably really hard for people who are not, which is like my husband, pessimist, and who you have to prove to him that he can trust something before he trusts it. I'm the other way around. It's just natural. It's just my natural instinct. So, but I don't, again, as the optimist, we don't always have to, I know. I feel like I'm going to get in so much trouble with these conversations lately. I don't Whatever, it is what it is. I gotta just be myself. I'm just gonna continue being myself. Okay. Uh, all right. Is AI already tracking human emotions through faces and voices? Oh, wow. Yes. Okay. Will the spread of AI make climate change worse over time? No. Will the spread of use of AI actually make climate change better over time? Yes, because it will help us problem solve. Is that why? More efficiently and effectively and quickly? Yes. Okay, we just got to make sure that it's in the right hands. I mean, I'm not an idiot. There are going to be nefarious people who are doing things, of course, so all right. Um, is AI part of the natural progression of human evolution? Yes. Okay. So from a other realm standpoint, we could say heaven, the other side. Was this always a part of our plan? And those who are coming to Earth now or on Earth now wanted to be a part of this evolution? Yes, really wide swing. Okay. Could AI reflect the collective consciousness of humanity itself? Yes. Oh, that's interesting. Will AI force humanity to redefine what it means to be human? No. Maybe the word force is not right. Will AI will AI actually redefine what it means to be human for humans? Like, will humans? No, it will not. Okay. Is AI being used secretly to track or predict spiritual awakening patterns? I'm just curious. Yes. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting, right? Because it can, like, how much are people waking up to the truth about this? How much are people waking up to the truth about that? It can track everybody's comments, right? So, yeah, I'm not afraid of that. I want them to know we're all waking up to things, but I have a feeling that will be used then to push the propaganda even harder, right? So obviously we have to be aware of these things, but we can't be afraid to be using a structure, because if you're afraid to use it, again, this is very opinionated. I'm just throwing this out there and I probably shouldn't be so opinionated. I'm going to choose not to be so afraid to use something so that I can understand it. But if I don't use it, I can't understand it, which means I can't be a part of the conversation. If you're not understanding it, then you can't be a part of the conversation, right? So, and there's a learning curve. We've got to take the time to adjust to the learning curve, and everybody's going to be different. Some of us are going to choose not to use it, and that is okay too. That person is not meant to be a part of the conversation then, and that's okay too, Okay, so let's see. Where was I? All right. Could AI act as a teacher rather than a threat? Well, could is not a good word for that. Yes. Will AI act as a teacher rather than a threat to humanity? Yes. Okay. Is AI being used secretly? Oh, we already did that one. Oh, I must have missed that one question. Okay. Could AI help humanity find cures for long-standing illnesses? I have a follow-up question to this. Yes. However, because you guys, many of us watch Sterling, and he talks about CRISPR technology. The question is how is Big Pharma going to react to that? I'm always curious about that. So, if AI is going to help us find cures for long-standing illnesses, is Big Pharma going to throw a hissy fit about that? Yes. Okay. So they're going to put up are they going to put up walls before we are actually able to get to that long-standing, the cures with long-standing illnesses? Yes. Are we going to be able to get over that hurdle though? Yes. Okay. So will the big pharma network structures break down? Are there cracks beginning to form already with big pharma by chance? Yes. Okay. Okay. Wonder what the cracks are. Is it because people are becoming more aware of how big pharma puts up roadblocks to health and wellness? Oh, good. Okay. Yes. That would be another topic altogether. Big pharma. That'd be an interesting one. Okay. Anybody interested in that topic? I'm going to write it down in case I forget. But let me know if you're interested in that topic. I'm just curious, like the future of big pharma. Big pharma, and I'm interested in how the food companies. It kind of goes together. I'm kind of curious about the future of those. So we could look at facts and then look at the future of that. Okay, let's see. Is the fear of AI destroying humanity rooted more in ego than fact? Oh, interesting. Yes. Okay. So it's just people not trusting at this point where it's going. I think like for me, if I don't trust something, it's just because I don't understand it, and it's very hard to understand everything from all angles. So I try to reserve judgment, wink, wink, usually doesn't happen, before I understand things from all angles. It's not always realistic though, is it? Okay, could AI help humanity shift into a higher state of consciousness? Yes. Okay. All right. So let's get a little bit of spiritual stuff and then we'll ask some last environmental and some hopeful questions, okay? Was the invention of AI influenced by higher realms or other intelligences? Yes. Could AI become a bridge between physical and spiritual dimensions? I've heard this. Yes. I've heard this that eventually, okay, let me ask. Eventually, will I be able to have a conversation, a legit conversation with my mother who is no longer on Earth? Yes. Wouldn't that be amazing, you guys? I mean, come on, that would be so cool. All right. Could AI become, okay, we asked that. Is AI teaching humanity karmic lessons about power and control? No. Is AI part of the collective shadow that must be integrated? No. Could AI one day help us communicate, there it is, with beings beyond this world? That would be amazing. Just think you could communicate with your pets, any of your loved ones, your friends who have passed. I don't know how, but I'm gullible and optimistic about that. Why not? Why not? So many things are possible. Everything's possible. Everything's possible. The negative and the positive, right? So why not? That would just be amazing. If guided by love and wisdom, can AI evolve in harmony with humanity's soul path? Yes. Okay. So is it better for us to bring light to that and assume and, or at least bring energy, positive energy to AI rather than fear? Yes. Okay. Because again, if you want something to manifest a certain way, we've got to bring the positive language around it rather than the negativity? Okay, so will the worst case scenario of AI energy and water usage, straining global grids and ecosystems, actually come true? No. Will it in the meantime, though, like in the short term? Yes. So we will see some strain on energy and water usage. Yes. But in the long term, will it balance and actually do better than what it's been over the last 70 years? Yes. Okay. Are the Great Lakes genuinely at risk from AI related water demands in the decades ahead? No. Is it at risk short term? Yes. But the long term, do we have anything? I mean, obviously, we need to still take action to make sure it doesn't, but is this all going to be resolved? Yes. Okay. Will new cooling methods, air, recycled water, seawater, be enough to make AI sustainable? Yes. Is that because of this? I'm going to go really out of my realm of knowledge here for a second. Only because my understanding is, I think it's metaphysical. From a metaphysical standpoint, yes, we can literally, like, I should be able to just generate electricity right here. Like, electricity is actually free, you know, from a metaphysical standpoint. I just don't know how to access that, my energy, you know. So, is that really what's going to make that happen? Is that actually electricity is free? Yes. Okay. I was just wondering about that. Okay. Are political and corporate efforts sufficient to prevent lasting harm? Yes. Even if we don't see that right now on the surface? Yes. Okay. Is Does the Trump administration actually care about harming the earth? No. Okay. So is it going to have to be beyond the Trump administration that will have to deal with all of these things? Yes. Okay. Can AI's environmental challenges actually spark a global shift into cleaner, more sustainable technology? Yes. So the question was can, but will it? Will AI's environmental challenges actually spark a global shift into cleaner, more sustainable technology? Yes. Very cool. Okay, you guys. Well, thank you to the LTC, the Lead Team Collective. So amazing. I hope this was helpful for you. It was definitely helpful for me. Let me know if you have any other topics you want me to address like that. I've seen some others. I've asked in a post. I did get your post response in the channel. Don't think I'm ignoring you. I'm just trying to do the stuff that's like currently on people's minds. So as things come up, we'll get to all of the ideas. Okay, have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.